What's going on, RPL TV? It's your host, Richie RAY, and I'm so glad to be back. Season 2. This is episode 5. I almost forgot what number it is because I'm doing a podcast literally like every week, dropping it Saturday, trying to stay consistent. You guys do know, too, that I'm actually dropping music all the time. 1st and the 15th was something I was doing, dropping a song on the 1st of the month, and then the 15th of the month. This month coming up in August, I might actually just hold back on that and promote this song that I just dropped called Buccaneers. It's a really dope song and it's a little different. I usually do like old school kind of flows, but this one's a little different for me, and I like it a lot. Shout out my producer Chris Rose. Shout out Choco Man Engineering. Go check out Trap's episode as well. That was episode 1. So yeah, man, I'm glad to be here, and I have a special guest in the house, old friend of mine, and I'm really blessed to see him. We saw him at this what's the place called?
Chomps. It's called Chomps.
Chomps.
Yeah, because it was a food market.
Ran into him, bought some clothes because my boy Josiah's in the house and he's running his clothing brand company, Armor of God. Welcome, Josiah. Hey. Yo, man. So Chomps. We saw each other at Chomps.
Yes,
okay. So we saw each other at Chomps, and it's a food truck kind of place.
Yeah, but it was
that's kind of
celebrating their like 30 years, so they had vendors and stuff.
Celebrating 30 years?
Third month, something like that. It was celebrating something. I forgot what it was.
Imagine you're like, no, we've only been around for 30 days.
30 days.
But it's like an anniversary or something. And I ran into you, bro, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You used to cut your hair back in the day, and I came in the truck. You got the truck.
Yep,
Armor of
we
God
got a
has
bus.
A bus. And you were posted up, man. I'm really proud of you, man. I'm glad to hear it. So for the viewers watching, tell a little bit about your brand, Armor of God, and kind of like a little bit of inspiration, because I do love that name. You know, biblical, like, you know, meaning to it. So yeah, just tell them a little bit about what you do and what's going on.
So me and my wife, we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. It was last year around January. Every church starts the prayer and fasting service. So we were one day at the service and we were both praying like super hard on like clarity and guidance of what God wants us to do in our lives and stuff. And he both deposited on our hearts a clothing Christian brand separately. We then came back in the car that same day and we brought the idea to each other at the same time. So we knew like, oh, this is something we got to do. Like God is going to lead us in every way, direction that we possibly can, bro. It was crazy. And so from then on, it was like in January, we kept praying about it, literally just giving it all to God, surrendering every piece of it, just slowly getting the name. We like drafted some names, and then like Armor of God came on my heart, and like I brought it to her and we prayed about it. I want to say one of the last prayer days, the verse of the day was Ephesians 6:10 through 18, which is the armor of God. Bro, it was crazy. And at the time I was working at Story Park. It was like a apartment complex or like housing. It was like a community, and I got hurt there. So I was on workers' comp for 2 weeks. So that 2 weeks, I literally like grinded and doing the website and doing everything. And it was around April 9th of last year, which was Easter, that we launched armorofgodstore.com. And bro, it has been such a blessing from there. We hit a year again in April 9th, and then we actually got the bus in August because my dad helped us with an auction site. We got the bus in August, and then we renovated the bus into a mobile Christian shop. The first one you've ever seen in Orlando.
No way.
Yeah, bro. There's not really like you'll see boutiques, but it's not a Christian mobile shop.
Only here on RPL TV, baby. Hey, that's
Yes,
fire. That's so cool.
Yes,
Powerful story too,
for
man.
sure.
Like, that's so cool to receive that confirmation. You said you and your wife, she was your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And God put on your heart to do clothes.
Yeah.
At the same
time, bro. And it was literally like,
and what I love about you, bro, is you got swag, bro. I love your style. I always love like you into shoes. You always had. I know you be rocking glasses too, right?
Yeah.
You be swagging. Yeah. I got a little collection now, so it's so cool to like see that, because I used to think to myself, I was like, man, Josiah, like, he puts good outfits together. He does this and that. And I don't know why. All the times I used to cut your hair, that kind of never came up. Like, we would talk shoes and stuff and stuff like that. But we never talked about a clothing brand. And so I'm like really like blessed to see you growing up into a freaking husband.
Yeah,
too,
bro.
you know what I mean? And have your own clothing brand. So that's cool. When it comes to like running, well, if you want, we can actually show off a little bit of the shirt.
Sure.
So this is the one I got.
This is the one he got.
I love this colorway. With all I need is Jesus and coffee, and that cream colorway is crazy.
Sure.
And you got some dope stuff there.
This is one of our best sellers. It's like the Godly Reminder collection. So it has a message on the front. So one of them will be pray first. Another one's just a Godly Reminder. God loves you. All these things. And then we always pray about it on what's on the back. And it always has a message. So it says, if your words have power, imagine a prayer. And then it has a verse always at the bottom.
Damn, I'm going to start praying right now.
Philippians
Stop
4,
the show,
6.
stop the show, stop the show. I've been worrying a lot. Stop the show.
Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything.
Wow, I love that. Should have got that one.
Then this one's more like a graphic tee that we have. It's God Works Miracles. Because,
love the colorway.
We serve a miracle worker.
Good, man. Good. That's what's up.
Yeah, bro. This one's my favorite. Jesus the Carpenter. Bro.
Yo, colorway again.
He loves that cream, bro.
Yo, it's been a good pause. It's been a good like they've been really winging that colorway, like with Nike and stuff, like ever since Virgil.
Yep.
I feel like that Off-White, they're going crazy, bro. Everything's like coconut, sail, but
I don't know
fire.
why that cream ivory like colorway has been the vibe right now. Like
right?
It's been literally like the go-to for everybody. We have like 4 shirts in this color, bro.
Nah,
we can't get
smart.
away from it.
Smart though. It's kind of like that's how it is though, because at this point you're competing with other clothing brands like Nike. I always say when I drop music, it's like regardless of how popular I am, like I have to make sure that when they go click my song, it's over a Drake song.
Yeah,
it's over
different.
A J. Cole or Kendrick song. Like at the end of the day, they're still like in their car choosing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I like this playlist. But like, oh, Richie dropped. Same thing with clothes.
For
they
sure.
could go to you or they could go online.
Yeah, for sure.
Shoot, man, I feel like we could go so many directions.
Yeah.
You have so many dope stuff going on. What's the like an obstacle for making clothes? I feel like a lot of people would want to do it, and I know a lot of people that are doing it, but you seem to take it to a new level with the truck or the bus, and now you're gonna be getting
a storefront.
Yo, actually, just tell us about that. We'll go back to the question later.
Yeah, for sure. So we actually just recently had the opportunity of being able to have a storefront here located in Central Florida. So it's just been a blessing. We're still in the process of it. We have to furnish it. We have to redo everything, and then it will be open to the public. We're hoping late August, early September, but we don't have a drop date soon. But man, it's just when you literally just surrender everything to God, bro, like it comes in every way. Like he'll just provide, and it's just really being obedient and being open to what he has for you. And man, like it's literally just we've just been following the next path that he's laid in front of us. We don't look towards the end goal and what is to come, but we really just focus on the next step of like, okay, he deposits this on our heart. How are we going to make this come to life? And just give us clarity and guidance for that.
Wow, and you're going to Journey?
Yeah, Journey Church.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you're like, you look like Pastor JJ's son. You get that?
Yeah, every time.
I think I've been saying that. Like ever since you're like, I'm going to Journey, I was like, yo, this is mini Pastor JJ.
Every Sunday, his wife's dad actually like double checked me last Sunday.
No.
Like he thought it was JJ because he's on sabbatical right now. So he thought I was Pastor JJ. He came back. He was like, "Oh my God, I thought you were JJ." Bro, I've had people come up to me talking about sermons. Like I'm not Pastor JJ. Like little kids come and hug me, bro.
Shout out Pastor JJ. Journey's
yeah, for
fire.
Real. Shout out you, Pastor JJ.
Yo,
like my
that's
brother.
crazy. Talking to you about the sermon.
Yeah, man.
Next thing you know, it's like, oh, I had a clothing brand and now I'm pastoring.
I'm pastoring.
Actually, you ever thought about that?
Yeah, of course.
That's cool. That's cool.
God's man, he's always deposited that on
Obviously,
my heart.
pastoring on stage is a
Different.
form of it. You can always be pastoring in
Of
regular
course.
life. I wanted the viewers to know like what are something you can remember where you ever had a moment of like maybe quitting or a moment of like this is too hard.
Man, and
he's like right now.
right now. Man, in Armor of God, I feel like it's super difficult because the enemy wants to take us away as much as he can. So it's just really like he's targeting us more than like Nike and stuff like that because they're worldly brands. So it's like being a Christian and trying to bring good news and trying to bring the gospel.
Just take all the Nike down.
Just take it down. Like bringing the gospel to the world and bringing like such a positive message. He always tries to take us down by attacking me and my wife in every way possible. That's why we always have to say armored up. No pun intended. But literally,
Bars.
bars. Constantly putting the full armor of God, bro, and it's literally the helmet of salvation, belt of truth, shield of faith, sword of the spirit, shoes of the peace, and breastplate of righteousness, bro. And it's literally praying that every day, and just dwelling on what each of those mean, because it's a little armor. We constantly go into battle every day. So of course, there's been moments where we wanted to quit, but we know that God has so much more in store and what He has for us. So we continue to pursue Him for sure.
That's good, man. Amen to that. What would be like a practical thing maybe that you would that you're applying to your daily life that you would be like, all right, there's a spiritual realm, but what would be something practical you're doing to keep you on your toes and aware?
Practical would be more like if this is your passion, if this is your calling, and what you feel that you want to do in life, it's just really of like continuing to pursue it. Like, honestly, is like put your all into it. I know sometimes can get really hard and tiring. You don't know a way out, but it's just really like putting your heart into it and finding that, reach out to community, finding other like-minded people. I feel like that's very, very important.
That part.
Having like-minded people. Like, you need more music people, you need more content creators and stuff like that. So it's just really finding that community that can uplift you when you can't do it alone, because a lot of us, we can't do stuff alone in life.
That's good. So you find yourself getting around more people that are making clothes. That's good. Yeah, you're right, man. I've been getting around more people that want to do content. That helps a lot for sure. You said something, you had said something that I wanted to touch on. When it comes to, finding like-minded people, do you find, like, what's the competitive space like with clothing brand?
Man, I mean, it's really hard, especially because we're not just a clothing brand. We're more like a ministry. So it's like a ministry through clothing brand, and we're trying to bring the gospel through fashion, because obviously fashion is such a big thing in this world, but we're bringing it to a message of where God can speak to you, even if you're not spiritual. It's not just to bring you to Christ and just to bring you to spirit. It's really just to give you a positive message of knowing that there's something out there that loves you so much and that cares for you and created you for a purpose. So it's really that of like, there's obviously other clothing brands that are Christian, but everyone is so different that it's like, they're so unique, and it's just constantly being your own, constantly bringing your own ideas, because you really can't be the same as, like, you're not going to have the same ideas I'm going to have, and I'm not going to have the same ideas you do. So it's really that of just putting your mind into practice of what you see in your head and just bringing it to light, even if you need other people's help and everything. And my wife does a lot of the graphic design, and she has such a creative mind, and God has created her in such a beautiful way. So it's really like she literally just gets a deposit, like an idea, and she'll bring it to life instantly, because she doesn't want to lose that idea. And I feel like some people
like that.
Some people have so many good ideas, but they let it go to waste. And I'm going to say that to the camera. You have an idea, don't let it go to waste. Bring it to life. Bring it as much as you can. Reach out to people. Do anything that you can possible to bring it to life, because it is for a reason, and I promise you it's not going to go unnoticed.
Wow. Nah, because lately that's kind of been I would say that's such good advice, because I think what was it? What did I do? Oh, I was wanting to pastor and like do ministry and evangelize and stuff, and I felt like when I was praying one time, God was like, this is crazy, because you're reminding me of it. God was like, what did he say to me? He said, start doing your ministry online through a YouTube account. And I was like, nah, like, I don't think that's, which I'm feeling convicted right now as I'm speaking, because I need to do more videos on that. But God was like, you should do it. Dang, bro, don't do that. Don't do that. No, because I was just praying the other day. God was reminding me. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that, and this is for my viewers listening, to add on to what you're saying, like, I kind of put it off, or maybe I wasn't sure, because I was like, that's kind of weird, or that's kind of, I don't know. I just didn't, for a year or for like 6 months, I put it off. Bro, COVID hits.
Oh.
Every church goes online, bro.
Dude, no way.
Ministry started to be online, and God was like, it was like some prophecy like that I've never. And God speaks, yo. You gotta listen to God for real. Like it was probably one of the biggest like things that God said to me. That was like, he was like foretelling my future.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to get on that. And then, a year later, COVID hits. Everyone's online, and God was like, I told you.
Wow.
And I was like I was stuck. And eventually I started doing more videos online, and they were doing great. But what you said is like, once you have the idea, you got to do it, man. Wow. What's your, like, what would you say is like your favorite thing about doing clothes?
Man,
like, what do you enjoy?
Even just the business in general, it's really like, people say you get freedom, but it's like you go from a 9 to 5 to 24 hours. Like, owning a business is 24 hours. But literally
Preaching, bro.
I'm telling you, God, you gotta pray before, and these are all God's words, man. I'm just a vessel. And what was the question again?
I was saying, like, what was your favorite? You're good. You were going somewhere. You were going somewhere good. You go off of that. Now, like, what's your favorite thing? What do you enjoy about it the most?
Yeah. Okay. So, obviously, doing it alongside my wife has
just getting depressed. Like, yo, it's 24 hours. And there's nothing's my favorite.
Dude, it's tiring, but living on the strength of God has been such an amazing testimony, because it's like,
back to the question.
I know, because I'll go somewhere else, bro.
All right, we'll go back. We'll go back.
Alongside my wife, obviously, doing it with my wife has been the biggest blessing possible, just having that and within our marriage and being the foundation and everything. Another thing would be like free clothes, bro. I literally just wear armor of God. I don't even know the last time I went shopping, bro, because it's literally like that. Like, been saving money through that, so that's been incredible. Love it. Literally everything I wear is armor of God.
As you should.
Exactly. And just meeting the people that we have met through the bus, even online, like the testimonies we received, the people who tell us our stories, and who we meet online. We've had people come out from different states and also different cities. Like, somebody yesterday came to Tampa just to drive out to the bus to meet us and to spread the gospel. So that has been one of our favorites, of like meeting people and hearing their comments, seeing how it's impacted them, how it's impacted those around them, and literally reminds us of exactly what this is for. And it brings it back to what you were saying of like, minister online, because you don't know who you're reaching. You don't know who needs it in that exact moment of like, they saw that video that popped up randomly and it saved them, it helped them, what they were going through. Like, they thought there was no way out, but they went on social media and they saw that video and they're like, wow, thank you. You don't understand how many times
I'm convicted, bro.
It's not.
I've been doing my reels on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they've been getting a strong buzz, like thousands of people and like 200 likes, people saying thank you. So, sorry guys, I'm having a moment. I feel like you're saying, I'm always blessed on these podcasts, yo.
Amen. That's exactly what it's for.
Wow, bro, that's awesome. Spreading that message, that's so good, bro. I'm so proud of you, man. Like, shoot, back to like, yo, business being 24 hours, like, man, what's that like for you? You know what I mean? Like, what's that pace like? Like, what's your pace? How do you pace yourself? How do you get through it?
We're actually even still in the process of figuring out like a foundation, like an organization, because it changes every time. So we'll get emails at night, we'll get emails in the morning, we'll get emails in the afternoon. So it's really just setting those dedicated times of like, okay, this is specifically for emails, this is for work, and then having to order the shirts and the transfers and then having to press them. It's really just figuring out the timing of everything and alongside with life. So I feel like a lot of the people that buy from us...
What are we going to eat today?
Like, exactly. But it's like, no, truly, because we're humans just as they are. So, like, we get sick sometimes. We can't do anything. We have family emergencies. So it's like we can't always be in the process of the business. So sometimes things get delayed, but people don't understand that sometimes. So it gets heavy on us of like, oh, they're expecting their shirt this time, this frame, like this certain, they want it for a specific event. So it's like some things get delayed, like even manufacturers, even transfers, like it gets delayed. So it's really understanding of like, we're just as human as you guys, and it's like, give us the grace that we need of like, we're doing our best and we're gonna get it to you in every way possible. So it's really like, man, like 24 hours is like, it's never ending, bro. Like, it's, yeah, and it can get draining.
I hear you, bro. Dang, I got, like I said, there's so many things racing on my mind.
We could go on
so
and
good,
on.
but like, because it's so cool. Like, you guys do, anybody that runs a business, but specifically in Orlando, knowing you and people that know you, from churches too, from like, you know, from even back in the day, you guys do come off like superheroes almost, or like some type of, I keep saying that word, I call Michael's a missionary, as a superhero. Everyone's a superhero. But you have this vibe, you know, like your Instagram only shows the I always say glamour and glitz. Mm-hmm. Like the Instagram shows the glamour and the glitz, bro. as your business should. You know, you're not here to like, you know, cry in the phone like, oh. But go ahead.
I was like, but it's actually real, because it's even that we have transparency. Like, my wife has shared so many of her testimonies on literally crying on the camera, like genuinely, and that's what.
Oh, never mind.
That's what it's all about. Is because we're not trying to promote a brand, we're trying to show you what God has done in our lives and why we started this. We're not trying to sell you something. That's not what it's about. It's really just trying to bring disciples of all nations into the world to spread the gospel. So it's really that of like, we are transparent. We do show the hard times. We do show the transparent times of like, hey, this is delayed. Hey, this is messed up. We have a family emergency. So it's really that of like, we do have transparent moments.
That's good, man.
That's what it's for. And I feel like a lot of businesses try to hide all of that. But it's like why are you not showing that? Because it's like they understand it more and give you more grace knowing that. So
this is my crying video.
Come on, we coming
Subscribe,
for you, Richie.
like, comment, repost.
Bro, you're stupid.
Y'all don't know. We go way back, bro.
No,
like
for
I
sure.
cut his hair so many times. We crack so many jokes and like. But I love that you are being transparent, real, and it's how do you say? It's like, yeah, man, people need to get that. They do need to understand that, because there was a time where I had to get my surgery on my shoulder, and I didn't want to. Not that I didn't want to post it. That's a lie, because I was like, yo, I'm posting this, I'm getting views. But there was a part was like, okay, I got to show the audience that I'm going through something. Like, I can't front forever, you know what I'm saying? Or show, not even front, just always showing my music or showing something dope, an outfit or my studio. And it was kind of funny for people watching, like, posting the realness is good, because there are people out there, they might not like your stuff, or you might feel like Instagram is a place of like, oh, people are fake or whatever it is. But I was getting a lot of feedback and a lot of people showing love and a lot of people saying I'm praying for you and a lot of people checking up on me. And it went from like posting my injury to like kind of trying to get people to look my way. Like, seriously, I was like, oh, people are going to look my way now. Like, I'm going to post this ugly scar or whatever. But it kind of flipped on me, and people were like, yo, I really care about you, bro. How's it going? And so for everybody watching, like, that's important for your life and your brand, too. Like, the glamour and glitz of social media is cool, and maybe you're trying to date or you're trying to look for someone, and you're doing this whole thing where you're posting, you know, the happy life. But not everyone feels this way, but being honest really does show people, like, the real, genuine you, and it really, I mean, it's building your brand, too. You know, like you say, you're not trying to sell nothing. You're just being real. Wow, man. Yeah, tell me about your injury, how you started going crazy, because I know you go from injury out of work to, like, building something now. It's crazy.
Yeah, so my injury, I actually we were being stupid. Like, I'm going to be real. I got my finger, I think it was this one. I'm not flicking you guys off, but it was my middle finger. I got it ran over by a golf cart. So it literally, like, went under a golf cart. Yeah, bro, it was crazy. And,
oh, shoot.
And yeah, so then, like, I was out, like, and we deal with a lot of chemicals because we're, like, cleaning and stuff. So I didn't want to go back to work with an open wound. So it was literally that. But it was all for a reason, even though, like, it was, like, some mistake happened. It ended up turning into what God needed to do. So he needed those 2 weeks for me to really focus on the website, focus on the brand, and the last minute tweaks and turns to be able to bring it in the time that it needed to. So like I said, we launched on Easter, which Easter has a huge meaning of like God resurrected. He came back and after the third day and brought so much light into this world, because
it's a great day.
In those 3 days that he was gone, it was the darkest time in the world. Everybody was grieving. So it was like to understand that we're representing a light just brings so much peace. And it was that. So it was really, I see it as such a coincidence. I use it as like God coincidence.
Coincidence. I brought that back up because in that dark time, God did something beautiful. Yeah, like the resurrection.
Exactly.
Because I had an injury and I built my tax agency. I was literally doing people's taxes with the sling. Like, exactly. It was crazy, bro. And that shows that. What's the I also feel like that shows the willingness though of your spirit though.
For sure.
Like I feel like maybe people don't give themselves enough credit. Like following God is difficult. Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your willingness. I know obviously you're talking about Armor of God and stuff, and like that's your brand, and that's what's gonna. You're married now. You have to make money. But what's like Josiah's willingness, like internally, like you think, like have you always dreamed about this? Have you always wanted to do something like this? You know what I'm saying? What's that push inside?
Man, so I mean, I always knew I wanted to be like a business owner, but it was really in the aspects of like real estate. Because my dad he's like a real estate agent. He was always in homes. He's a new homes like builder now, and so I always saw that growing up. So I always saw like hard work. I always saw like, even from my mom, like she was in the same thing, and then she started working for counseling and for kids and all these things. So I saw both aspects of like helping people and then also working hard. So it was something that I always like. I didn't want to be tied to a 9 to 5, even though I didn't know it'd be going to 24 hours, but we still love it. I'm bringing it back there.
Yo, that's crazy.
But yeah, man, it was just, I was always just a hard worker, always loved to help people, always loved to do things. So even just bringing it back to Armor of God, it was both, best of both worlds. So it was literally just being a light and then working hard, because man, like the other day I was pressing shirts till like 2 a.m. for an event that we had the next day. So it's like, it's a lot of physical work, it's a lot of mental work, it's a lot of even like spiritual work. So it's like, it's all of it tied together. So my willingness is just really just following everything that I've always dreamed of. Is just
shout out to your parents.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Wow. Like you said, it's tying in, like not working a 9 to 5, going 24 hours. No sleep
I want to tell people that, because it's like they think they have so much freedom, but it really goes to like, if you wanted to work for yourself, you have to put in those hours. It literally goes from like tied to obviously under somebody. Now you're on a loan, but now you have to keep yourself accountable. You can't keep, like, you don't have a boss to keep you accountable. Like if you were lazy there, if you were tired there, it's gonna be just as worse if you don't keep yourself accountable. So that's why I want to like emphasize that, because it's not easy.
People that want to get out of jobs. I remember like leaving, because the passion got to be there, right? And I remember leaving work like 2 years ago. I was actually making like probably like my smallest check was like $1,000 a week, right? And I was only working 30 hours, so I was making great money. But nothing beat, like, I couldn't see myself there. It was like this crazy, like, it was just like, I don't know, it was like a spiral. Like, I was just in a, like, this tornado of emotions. Like, yo, like, I need to provide, I need to do these things. And people need to take chances.
Yeah, absolutely.
People need to take risk. And I feel like you're taking a big chance and a big risk. And a lot of people have come through this podcast. And I think living with God, it's like kind of obvious, but it's not. It's like when you walk with God, that faith is the risk.
Yeah.
Like that faith is like a chance. Like, except, I think I mentioned last time, I was like, except you're doing it with God. What are some like chances and risk taking that you feel like you've been doing, or is there any like something that you've been thinking about that you'd want to do, or do you remember a time you're like, yo, we're taking this chance?
Man,
He's like, every day.
Yeah, the beginning of it, she had her own business at the time. Like she had experience in the clothing business, but it was more for the world and like artists like Bad Bunny and stuff like that. So it was that of like transitioning that into like God and like spiritual life. So we literally, both of us surrendering where we both were at the time, we took the biggest risk ever. So I quit my job, my 9 to 5, and she was stopping her other job. So we literally both went from like secure places to only relying on this. So this has been our full-time job since we've like launched, which is not very like popular for a lot of businesses like that. So it's literally like when I tell you we lean on the strength of God, we lean on the strength of God. Because there's been times where we've seen not that much in the bank account. Like it's just being real, and it's just really having exactly what we need when we need it. So is that of like we surrendered both of our jobs right from the beginning, and like gave it literally everything. Like we had security there, and literally leaning on the strength, like you said, what you had is that faith and just walking with God. And the faith of a mustard seed moves mountains. You can only imagine mountains. Mountains are ginormous. So it's like he's made a way ever since we started, and we just continue to be faithful. And it's literally bringing all the glory to him, because we can be selfish and bring it to us and be like, oh, we're the faces of armor. No. We don't. We're just vessels. Everybody we tell,
we're the faces of armor. We're bars. Like, you're not the face, dude.
Dude, I can't with you, bro. I can't take you serious.
Sorry.
Yo, I'm like spinning facts.
Sorry,
like,
bro.
Dang, the faces of armor. That's bars.
Continue.
Cut.
Continue, bro. I'm gonna sip on my coffee.
It's Jesus and coffee, bro. But man, yeah. So risk taking from the very jump. I feel like if you don't take risks, there's no reward. So it's really just taking risks, and you'll see the reward. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's
man, it's just like God always comes in time. Like you said, in time for what we need.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly. Like, you might want to go on a trip. You might want to do a vacation. You might want to, I don't know, you and your girl go out some crazy dinner, and those are wants, and that'd be awesome. Sure. And then sometimes you humble yourself and you realize, like, no, babe, or, whatever situation you're in, like, God just provided us perfectly for what we needed right now, and we got bigger plans. We got bigger vision, and sometimes we're going to have to, that's the thing is, like, if you want to live, I don't mean to say grand life, like as if we're trying to worship our lives, but we do have things that we would love to do, and we probably want to travel more or go, like, you might want to go on a mission trip to, I don't know, somewhere around the world, and it doesn't happen because the funds aren't there. And I think what happens is, like, you lose your vision when you're worrying about, like, what you want your life to look like, and you're like, yeah, but you prayed for this.
Yeah.
My brother told me that the other day. He was like, bro, that's a hard pill to swallow, bro. He was like, I remember he was asking me about the pod or editing, and I was like, I'm tired, man. I was like, yo, doing podcasts and then doing a video. I was like, yo, it could get draining. He's like, yeah, but you're asking for this. Yeah. And I lost a lot of things in my life pursuing this. A lot of things didn't happen that I wanted to happen. It was like, and I'm saying that for people to listen to, especially people that are married, husbands and wives, like, if you want to do something bigger with your significant other and you want to think big, and especially in social media world now, especially we see other people's lives going, like, on this big spree of, like, you go on their Instagrams and it looks like, oh my God, look what they're doing with their lives, and then you look at your life or you look at your situation, or you look at your relationship. Yeah, I'm going somewhere, right? And you're like, this isn't it. And it's like, yeah, but, like, a smart man of God is going to delay gratification, bro. He is going to stay delayed. You can't have everything you want. Yo, you got me going in, bro. People are in their 20s thinking that they're going to, like, travel the world and they're going to have $1 million and drive nice cars. And it's like, for some people, if you live in California and your parents do, like, real estate in LA or something, like, okay, you have a whole different life. But people growing up on the east side are just regular people that don't have parents that could provide like that, or whatever the situation is, or you didn't go to a good college or whatever, and we get manipulated, bro. And we start to delay gratification is, like, not a thing. Like, people want it now. Yeah. People want, like, what's in. They only have faith for what's in front of them. Yeah. They don't have faith for what. Am I going somewhere? Yeah. They don't have faith for what's going ahead. Because I could go on my rants. Everybody knows, like, every 10 minutes I'll go on a little rant. No, I just think that people want to be, like, rich. People want to travel the world and live grand, and that's fine. I think David was rich, and they say in the Bible that Joshua was famous. Mm-hmm. The Bible literally says, and Joshua became famous in all the land. Yeah. So being famous or being known, especially if you want to spread God's wisdom and, like, give people Jesus, it's not wrong. But it's going to take you. You're going to have to wait till maybe you're 30. You're going to have to wait till maybe you're 40, and you got to be okay with that. Because a lot of people want to live these crazy lives, and it's just not. Sorry, baby, it's not realistic.
Yeah, man, I could touch on a lot of stuff.
You'll eventually have it.
Yeah,
it'll eventually
for sure.
come, but you gotta, like, put a lot of things to the side.
And it's not even just that. I mean, it's, if you look at a lot of, like, it's just talking about, like, finances and stuff. If you look at a lot of rich people, they got it at 50, 60, like 30, 40. Like, it's not, we just want it quick. We want it now because of what social media has put in our brains, has infected us with. Because a lot of them, some might look and feel rich, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, like we touched on earlier. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're actually, because they could just show you something, but they might not even be happy. And I feel like that's what a lot of, exactly. So it's like, it's that of, like, it's really just being content with what you have now. And if it comes, it comes. And if it doesn't, be happy with what you have. Because it's like, it's not always about the rich. It's not always about life and traveling and everything. Some people don't even get to travel out of their own state, but they're so happy and content with being with their family, with being with their friends, and being with where God has placed them, that the rest of the world doesn't matter to them. So it's really that of being content and being happy with what you're given now. And if God has something in store for you, like you said, you will get it. You will get it. You will get provided with it. And like you said, King David, yeah, he was rich, but he always brought the glory back to God. Yeah, he made a lot of mistakes. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about King David's mistakes. Yeah. But all of the Psalms, he's bringing all the glory back to God, about his forgiveness, about his salvation and everything. And it's really just that of like, you have a purpose and a calling in life. And sometimes, like, I've heard people like, oh, you're called to be a mother. Sometimes you're called to be a widow. Sometimes you're called to be single and having a single life. And it's really that of like, everybody's different, because if all of us wanted to be rich and grand, then sometimes we wouldn't have the fast food workers. Sometimes we wouldn't have grocery store clerks, because you have to start somewhere. So I always had that thought of like, oh, if everybody wants to be grand, then some people wouldn't have what we need to live life.
Yeah, and
that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. I know what you mean. Everyone plays a part, but and I'm really speaking to the entrepreneur. I'm really speaking to the person who doesn't want to work a 9 to 5. Like, they're like, yo, I want to be rich. Like, let's just put it out there. Like, it's okay. Like, you want to make a lot of money. Like, that's fine. Sure. Like, I remember God even asked me one time. He's like, Richie, don't you want to make a lot of money? I was like, yeah. He was. I don't know if I should share this. Maybe it's controversial, but he was like,
Don't worry, I'll humble you.
No, he was like, then stop trying to be a pastor at a church.
Oh.
And I was like, he was like, that's not what you want. Like, why are you suffocating yourself? And almost like God was like, and I'm saying this because God was like, give yourself free reign, bro. Like, and that's when it comes back to the ministry and I'm not trying to clown or get on people who are pastors. Yeah. I've been in that world. And I pray for y'all, because they got them working. Now my heart's broken over that, because they got youth pastors and pastors getting divorced and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, yeah, man, you got this guy working at the grocery store and clocking in to be a pastor. Like, it's hard in America. People don't realize, like, well, people do realize, like, obviously everyone's struggling, but it's getting really thin. Yeah. Like, when it comes to, like, buying food, like, I thought buying food, grocery shopping was cheaper than eating out. And it's like, it's not. It's more, if anything. So people need to, like, and I bring up the whole pastoring thing because God was like, you want to give back to a lot of people, right? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I want to give back. He's like, you want to, like, travel and, like, tell people about Jesus and, like, maybe even go on mission trips, which I would love to do. And God was like, all right, well, then you need to, like, think a little bit, like, you need to, like, get out of this. I think people get trapped in one idea. Yeah. I think that's where I'm going. Yeah, people get trapped in one idea. And I think the cool part about entrepreneurship is that you're constantly going to be growing, and you're constantly going to be learning. And I mean, you talk about your wife. I'm pretty sure she has a history of other things, like she's graphic designing, but I'm pretty sure she was probably doing this and that. And you wanted to. She
worked at Universal.
She worked at Universal. You wanted to do real estate. You know, exactly. and you have the influence of your parents too, and you're probably thinking that was going to be your whole life. Mm-hmm. Like, you're probably thinking that for a minute, and you probably will do real estate eventually. I'm aiming God's to. Like, hold on. Exactly. You know, and so I think people need to give themselves credit. Like, go chase your goals, man. Stop being afraid and stop being fearful. Taking risks and taking chances, like, is it. And yeah, man. If you want to add to that, shoot.
Man, I've been wanting to tie it back to something you said earlier. When you were saying about, like, having a Christian life isn't easy, and I feel like it ties in with all of that, like the pastors and everything, because, man, I feel like it's a lot of people just think, oh, you guys have it easy, you love Jesus, all these things, but it actually gets a lot harder, because the enemy is the ruler of this world, if a lot of people don't know. And I always bring it back to this thing. If you believe that there's evil in this world and there's darkness, why do you not think that there's an opposite to it? Why do you not think that there's a light, there's a dark, like there's a God, there's a bright person that is on the good side? Because there's always opposites. There's up and down, there's left, there's right, there's salt, there's pepper. You know, like I'm saying, like there's always mainly an opposite to things. So it's like, if you believe that, oh, you're having a bad day and there's a bad energy or spirit, whatever some people like to say sometimes, why do you not think that there's a good spirit, that there's a good God that created this universe, that had somebody who wanted to be like him and got casted down because he he didn't know how to humble himself. So it's just those things of like, man, it's not easy following God because we're living in the world that is trying to be run by the evil one. So it's really that of like, he's gonna attack us harder than anybody else, because I feel like it's harder to be in a negative state. It's harder to be, easier, sorry. It's easier to be in negative. It's easier to be sad and just do nothing with your life, but it's harder to pick up, fight through that feeling and continue to pursue your passions, continue to pursue your dreams, pursue people and loving everyone. And it's really like that of like, it does not get easier, but it gets more filling. Because I feel like a lot of people are missing that. They feel empty. They have a void. They don't feel full. They don't like what they're doing. That's why a lot of people want to own their own business. But I promise you won't feel that full owning your own business if it's not for the right intentions. So it's that of like, when you feel voided or you don't feel like you're doing enough in life, you like, think about it. Think about, why am I here? Think about, man, maybe God is real. Maybe there's something out there that is calling me to greater, is calling me to higher, and he fills my cup. And that's what I feel like a lot of people are missing of like, man, it doesn't get easier, but it's so filling and it's so fruitful and it's so worth it. And that's why we continue to keep going and continue living this life. And I would love to just speak to those who have left the faith. And I feel like that's where you were going with that. And I feel like, man, I would love to just connect with people who's left the faith and everything. And it's not a religion. It's a relationship at the end of the day. And it's a relationship with you and God. And I feel like that's what a lot of churches sometimes don't preach about. And I love Journey because he brings it back to that all the time. And I just feel like,
if you need a church, hit up Journey, man.
Yeah, for real. I feel like that's what a lot of people tie it to, is a religion. And it's not just a religion, it's really a relationship like what we have.
So you get older, bro, and I've been following God since I'm 31 now. I've been following God since I was 18. And this thing gets really real. Like, you get older and you get out of that puppy love stage with God so fast, bro. Yeah. And I think people, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they preach your first love. Yeah. And I'm not preaching against that. But, and maybe I'm being honest, maybe it's my spirituality, maybe I'm not doing something. But it's like, everything's so different. The world is changing. God doesn't change, right? But like, maybe you collaborate. This will be the last thing. But I think people, it's like, my first love, I wasn't that real with God. Like, now I'm real. Now I'm like, yo, God, like, I'm Psalms, man. I'm like, the Bible they always say they shave their heads and rip their clothes off. Like, pause. Now I'm like, I'm getting really in it. Now I find myself like getting real. And I'm like, whoa, this is a whole different type of relationship with God. And what I'm saying is like, people, you got to get real with God. You got to cry out to God. You have to fall on your face. You have to admit when you're wrong. You have to backtrack and stop ignoring the past. You have to go and, I want to say you have to fix those things, but you have to take the initiative to say, God, this is a really ugly time in my life and it's affecting me now. Or God, I'm going through something really ugly right now. And a lot of men, I would say maybe, don't know how to be like really on. And this is the thing, is like your relationship with God grows when you just had enough. And you're just like, God, like you start asking God for more things in a sense. People don't like to ask God for things. They have that pride. They're like, no, I don't want to ask for God. And I get it. I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there. But now I'm like, God, give me that Lambo. Yeah. I need that Lambo right now. Now the God's
everything
like,
you could have said.
Right now, I'm scared. I'm gonna be funny. We're being funny. No, because there's certain desires that we have, and I think we're ashamed. Yeah. Especially when us come to God, I think we're ashamed to ask these certain things from God, and God's like, no, I'll give it to you. Just got to be with the right heart. I can't give you a Lambo and you go Pure crash heart. It because you're not living right. I know it's funny, right? Lambo, right? No, but it's what I'm talking about is that there's certain desires, and we can't act. We're human. We can't like we're gonna ignore them. But what I'm trying to say is like, if you want these certain things in life. And I'm not trying to go for the lust of life. I'm trying to go for like raising a family and showing them the world, or giving them good food, giving them better quality food. Like there's other things in life that don't enhance, and you can't be ashamed to be asking things from God. Yeah. Man. You know, I think as men, we're like, no, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to figure it out my
pride.
way. And it's like, you got to, like, really let go of that.
Yep.
And have a couple prayer. And I say the Lambo thing to be funny because, like, sometimes God has a sense of humor. And you just got to tell God, like,
For real, sometimes it is like that.
Just have a prayer that's not, sometimes it doesn't need to be, like, this cookie cutter or, like, this very strict, sharpened prayer.
Yeah.
I think your relationship with God grows when you're like, yo, God, like, I ain't gonna lie, man, I need some new clothes. Like, how am I going to get that? Like, I need to go out here and promote my business. I call myself a rapper now, and I want to rap for you, God. But, like, I need you to provide, like, maybe even my car's falling apart. And people are like, no, I'm going to figure it out. And God's like, just come to me.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think we need to, like, surrender and be vulnerable.
Appreciate
sure. All day long, bro.
I know, but just to touch on it real quick and like bringing it back, like you said, it's like the first love. And,
that's gonna be the title. Josiah wants a Lambo.
Oh my God,
go first
bro,
love. Go back to first love.
dude.
Humble me.
Is bringing it back to the first love, and like I feel like a lot of people think that Christianity is about honeymoon stage. And it's like, oh, the getting perked up and getting pretty and all that and going on dates and having all these things with your significant other. No, it's the hard times. It's the times you fight. It's the times you argue. It's the times you cry. It's the times you disappoint the other one. It's the times where you literally, like, you don't know sometimes the way out. And literally, it's like a marriage. It's like a relationship with friends. You lose some friends sometimes. You fight with your significant other. There's been, like, no marriage is perfect, and your relationship with God is not going to be perfect. Because at the end of the day, we are humans. We sin. We have fleshly desires. We have a lot of influences of this world that are not godly or not spiritual. So is that of like, yes, in the beginning it's gonna be honeymoon stage, but when you start to dig deeper and continue to seek after him, it's gonna get hard, and he's gonna start breaking down walls. He's gonna start tearing layers back like an onion. Like, it's gonna be where you are gonna literally be the purest of heart to God, and that's what he wants. Because it's like, think about it, like you get married but you're always a different person to your wife. So it's like you show something that you're really not, because you're afraid of the intimacy. You're afraid of being vulnerable. You're afraid of opening up your struggles and your battles. So you continue to show them something that you're not. That's going to create problems, because you can't hide behind that forever. You can't just show that forever. So it's that of like, man, like you have a relationship with the one who created this world. How dope is that? Like, for real. Like, he literally can provide you so much, and all he wants is your true self. But it's like, if you continue to put those layers, because he knows everything. If you continue to put those layers, you're not going to get everything that you want in life. You're not going to get that Lambo. But it's that of like, you have to surrender. you just clicked that, bro.
No, just like
it's just a metaphor. But it's really that of like, man, like, just try something different, y'all. Like, if you see that the same thing that you're doing isn't working, man, try something different. Surrender in a different way. Open up in a different way. Open up to community. I'll be real, because in the Bible it says, yes, you go to God to be forgiven, but you need to go to others to be healed.
Wow.
To be healed.
Bro.
Because obviously God can heal you, but you need that community of like, hey, like, I'm struggling with this.
That Instagram,
you need to
buddy.
help me. I need your help to keep me accountable. I need your help to help me be better. Because obviously God's spiritual, but you need that physical aspect of like, hey, I went through the same thing a couple years ago. This is how I got through it. I can help you.
That's good, man.
So it's really just being open. Open to, and it's not attacking anybody who doesn't follow God or anything like that. It's really just, this is our personal testimonies. This is what we've experienced in life, and we've obviously had lives of where we didn't follow God at one point, and now that we do, we see the difference. So it's
and to add to that, bars, going outside of, wow, I could hit this topic, and I am. For my viewers, man, you got to be careful with your lifestyle. You got to be careful with social media. You got to be careful with focusing on your past so much, that you don't go outside. It's funny because I wrote a song called Outside. And it's like I started to realize, like, yo, you want to, like, live a different life, go outside, meet people, like, make an excuse for yourself. Like, the internet and America or the government, I don't know what it is, the devil, but it's right in front of you, bro. They're trying to keep you isolated, especially my men. They're trying to keep you inside. They're trying to make you focus on the wrong news and this and that. And you got to wake your spirit up. Like Josiah said, go out there, meet people, meet community, build your brand, build you. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if we want to get, like, super into it or super spiritual, you're not even building your brand. You're really promoting, like, you, and that you have Christ in you and you have God and whatever you represent, your family, you're a family man, you're an artist. Like, yo, it's about you. I did barbering, I mentioned all the time, I did video, I did insurance, I did Amway, I now I'm tax agent, I'm podcasting, and it's like, and I don't say that to toot my horn, I say that for people to go, like, I'm telling you what we're walking through, like, it's happening in real time. And I never thought I'd be where I'm at, and you gotta take chances, you gotta fall on your face, man.
I want to mention something funny.
Go ahead, bro. We'll wrap it up here.
Because he was talking about where he was. There was one time.
Failing is amazing.
When I walked into a Dunkin', and the last person I would have expected was Richie. And man, he used to work at Dunkin'.
Yep.
And I remember that. And he made my hash browns. Like, it's just
Yo! Them hash browns is fire.
Those hash browns are so fire, bro. They really are. He gave me more clutch.
Yeah.
But man, it's
I remember that day.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. And then I was like, bro, what? It's crazy to see. So it's like, bro, you always start somewhere. Like, yes, you would have never known that. Like, if I didn't say anything. But it's like
COVID took my barbershop. Like, my clientele went to crap, bro.
So it's like he had to, he picked up. He continued to move. He went somewhere for the time going, knew that would provide in the moment that it did, and he continued to seek his passions. And look at him now. So it's like you'll start somewhere. You'll always be you might not feel like it's the best place right now, but I promise you it's where you need to be, and it's going to grow from there. You just have to have the right intentions, like he said. Have the pure heart and just be true to yourself of like, okay, this is for a season. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to grow, and I'm going to be happy here. I'm like, it's kind of tying into what I said earlier. Be content with what you have.
Because God said that this was for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept me going. Like, because God said this is for me.
Yeah.
Like, God said it. Not my mom, not dad, brother, sister, family member, church, pastor. God said this is for me. And sometimes what you going to do with your life is going to look crazy. Let it be crazy.
For sure.
Let it be crazy. Let them call you dumb, whatever. You just gotta do it, bro. You gotta fall right on your face in front of God. Just be like, I'm on my face, God, right now because you told me. And when you could live like that, it's over.
Yeah, facts.
When you know God's got you, when it looks like that, he's like, let me tag in.
Yeah, let me tag. Hey, it's my turn. But last thing is like, man, like one thing I want to encourage you about is like, don't tie God to your community. Don't tie God to the pastor. Don't tie God to what you're experiencing out there, because I promise you that will disappoint you, and you will think that God hurt you when really it was just the people did. And I feel like that's why a lot of people get church hurt, and that's why a lot of people leave the faith, is because people in the church hurt them, but they don't understand that they are flesh, they are humans, they are going to hurt them, they're going to disappoint them. But it's that of like, God never hurts you. And yes, he might put you in seasons like Job, but Job was literally, he pursued God. He still trusted him, even if he took his health. The enemy took his health. Enemy took his family, his house, his riches, his living stock. But he still had faith in God, and God returned it tenfold. So it's that of like, don't leave the faith because of somebody hurt you that was close to you that represented God. But I promise you it wasn't God. And it's that of like, don't like continue to pursue a relationship with God, not that person. That person will leave your life.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, that's always been...
I'm glad you said that.
That's always been important on my heart for people, because I feel like a lot of people leave the faith because they tie God to that person in church who hurt them or abused them, because, man, there's been so many cases of abuse in churches and all those things. And
by the way, I've been through that, so...
That's what I'm saying. So it's that of like, but he's still continuing to seek God on his own. But as long as you have that foundation of like, man, this is my relationship with God, that's all that you need. And like you said, there's so many churches online that you don't have to go physically if you get like PTSD or things like that. Like you can just watch online. But it's that of like, just pursue a relationship with God one-on-one. And then he will provide you the right community. He will provide you the right people around him. So I just wanted to state that. It was on my heart.
No, I'm glad you said that,
like
bro.
church hurt and everything.
You can keep going.
Yeah. Well, I think you can touch on a little testimony.
Yeah. I mean, I think how do you say? God called me out of my church that I loved, and like I used to think that was wrong. I used to be like, I remember driving to church, and I remember God saying, "Why are you going back here?" And I think people need to hear that, because it's not saying, God's not saying leave the faith. God was like, you're just going somewhere that I just called you out of. And people start getting weirded out, or like people are like, oh, why am I getting hurt here? Or like, why is this happening to me? It's like, God's moving you, bro. Like, they're like, yeah, but my job's here. And like, but my whole life is here. Like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, stop, slow down, like chill, dude. Like, that's how you know that your faith was connected to a person. And it was connected to the people.
Or something like tangible, like money or security in that job, or security in that place that you're in. But
it's good.
You know that God can pull you out and anywhere.
Yeah, I say that because I was like dumbfounded. Like, what do you mean? And I remember going to an event and something weird happened. And God was like, I told you. And it doesn't mean that people shouldn't go there. God was just saying that's not for you. Yeah. And someone was saying how they were losing their job at a church because the people were going crazy over there, acting weird. And I said, hey, like, I pray that you keep your job. But I've been in situations where, like, I just want to tell you, just be open to God moving you. And that if you don't get this job back or this doesn't work, this is actually God, like, really moving you.
Yeah.
And it might hurt. To not be there with those people. Yeah. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep, for
sure. You know what I mean? But I think ultimately what I'm trying to say is like being open. Okay, this is where we're gonna end it up. Being open to new ideas for entrepreneurship and business, new jobs, a new version of you. It could be anything from how you dress. Like being open to a new version of something, learning it, being creative, being vulnerable towards God, and like really letting God lead. And from my men out there that are in marriages and relationships, like
I would love to touch on that too.
Men, I believe this. I really do. Men are gonna be called to some crazy things, and wives, you have to when the Bible talks about submitting, you know, that's the part right there.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that because it's like I feel like men don't take that wrong though. Like, don't take advantage of your wife. Like, obviously it's leading them in the right way of like that. Buy them a Lambo
too. Oh my god. But let him get his first. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're right. Don't take advantage. We are definitely going over an hour here.
Yeah, I know for sure. Just last thing. But yeah, don't take it. We said that 3 times already, like 4 or 5 times. Man, we could go forever. It's amazing. But yeah, I feel like it's like, in this culture concept, it's like people think that they have to submit everything in their life. No, it's really just like opening up to what your husband is going to. And really, obviously, husbands, don't take advantage of your wife. Like, yeah, it says called to lead them and that they submit to you. But it also says in the Bible of leading them the right way, leading them to Christ, leading them to the center of like having Christ as your foundation. So it's that of like, don't take advantage of your wife. She's there to support you. She's there to make your house a home. Advantage. And to bring your house a home. And yes, you provide. And it's that of like, I feel like that's what is so iffy about that. Like, oh, I have to submit. No, it's just really like following him. And it's that of like, if he's leading you wrong, then that's different. But it's that of like the husband needs to lead the right way, and he has to have the right intentions, the right heart posture. And that's something that you guys have to talk about. That's something that you guys need to discuss and have that discussion. But I can have a whole different conversation about marriage because obviously I'm recently married.
No, it's good. We could throw something in there.
And learning all about that. And it's really that of like, I've been having to learn to lead my wife the right way. And she's always been a very independent woman. So having to change that mindset of like, okay, I have to follow him sometimes. Like I have to follow my husband and him leading me to Christ and stuff like that. So it's that of like, you have to have those conversations, and not just for your husband to take the lead and not tell anything to you. No, it's having that communication, having God in the center and bringing God into everything you do. If you pray before, pray after. And it's that of like, okay, like God is speaking this on my heart. This is what he's leading me to. And that's when the submission of a wife comes in of like, okay, I'm here to follow you. If it's from God, I'm here to lead you and help you lead and be behind you and all of that. So
No, I like that you say that, man, because the narrative is that like the whole submitting thing is like we're controlling.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's crazy, there are crazy people
Yeah,
out
it's
there like
very
trying to take
bad.
advantage. But I think sometimes women get discouraged because they want to be independent. Cool, but if you're gonna be in a relationship, like there's gonna be, I believe there's some moments where guys gonna do some crazy stuff, and your husband's gonna say something, and you're like, what? But really, you're just following God.
Yeah.
Really, you're just like following, what he's saying, and so. Yeah, man, this is a great pod, bro. We can be here forever.
Dude,
this is the
literally.
most serious conversation I ever had with Josiah in my entire relationship that I've known him. So that's why we keep laughing, and because we have his first, because we're always actually just roasting each other. Actually, to be honest, he used to come over and just have a roast session for real. So, tune in RPL TV. Check out Armor of God. I'm gonna put the accounts below. 1st and the 15th might be on a hold for August. Gonna be dropping music constantly though. Vlogs on deck. I just went to Texas. We did the world's biggest McDonald's video.
Fire. I saw that.
People were like, people live in Orlando. They're like, that's the world's biggest McDonald's. I'm like, yeah, like
it's 3
I had to
floors.
look it up. I had to look it up. Yeah, no, and it's not in Japan. So go check out the vlogs. Again, Armor of God, man. I'm blessed to have you on the show,
Of course,
bro.
brother.
It's been
a
dope.
blessing.
And stay tuned. This is only episode 5, season 2. We got more to come. Like, subscribe, comment, share, repost. Tell somebody about this epic session with my dog Josiah. I love y'all, and we out. Peace.